The suspect that police believe responsible for Jasmine Fiore's death is Ryan Jenkins. You see him pictured there. He was found dead in a motel room, apparently a suicide. However, the case not closed. Police say a mysterious woman may have been helping him escape.
And Jenkins was found 100 miles from where he's believed to have crossed the border in a town called Hope, British Columbia. That's where ABC's Brian Rooney is this morning with the latest. Brian?
Diane, we're way off up in the mountains of British Columbia. It's an old motel here on the outskirts of town, just across from the railroad tracks.
The deceased person that was found in a motel in Hope, British Columbia, is in fact Ryan Jenkins.
It's a motel occupied in part by recovering alcoholics and addicts. Jenkins had failed to leave his room by the 11 a.m. checkout, so the manager went in.
I just cracked the door and I seen the computer sitting on the bed and a few other things. And then I follow through with the door, and as I follow through with the door, there he was hanging from the coat rack by a belt.
Jenkins had been here since Thursday night about 6:30 when an attractive blonde woman who appeared to be in her 20s checked two people into room 2 while a man waited outside in a silver PT Cruiser. The manager didn't know that the man he saw only once in the parking lot was Jenkins.
He didn't look like the guy on TV. He was very gaunt, very thin looking, very worn out looking.
Not the confident contestant on the VH1 reality show Megan Wants a Millionaire.
I'm so James Bond, and I'm gonna rock it.
He had been wanted for the murder of 28-year-old Jasmine Fiore, a Las Vegas bikini model Jenkins met and married over several days last March. Her body was found August 15th, stuffed into a suitcase in a dumpster south of Los Angeles. Her teeth and fingers removed. The body was identified by serial numbers on her breast implants. Jenkins was last identified Wednesday, leaving his water ski boat in Point Roberts, Washington, and was assumed to have crossed into his native Canada. He came to this motel 24 hours later. A former fiancé of Fiore's in Las Vegas reacted to Jenkins' death.
There's so many unknown questions. Why? Who? What happened? I would have loved to see him sit in jail every day of his life for the next 100 years.
Now, Jenkins' death doesn't necessarily end it. There is the business of the mysterious blonde, about 5'9", 120 pounds, I was told last night. A very pretty woman, the kind who always hung out with Ryan Jenkins. Police obviously now are going to want to talk to her. She would be an accomplice. We have no idea yet, Chris, what her identity is.
All right, thank you, Brian. That's right. This investigation is still very much open. Moments ago, I spoke to Orange County District Attorney Tony Rackauckas. He's the prosecutor on the case. Here's what he has to say. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Rackauckas. Can you tell us where the investigation stands this morning?
Well, at this point, the Canadian Mounted Police are continuing to investigate all the matters around the scene of the death of this defendant, Ryan Jenkins, and the Buena Park Police will continue the investigation in California here, just to sort of wrap up all of whatever the loose ends might be. There's still certain things that need to be done, but we don't want to just close the books until it's completely finished.
Do you believe that Jenkins may have had help in committing this murder or in disposing of Jasmine Fiore? Word of this other woman who checked him into the motel. What do you make of all this?
Well, there's no indication that he had any help in committing the murder. I mean, that's all of the evidence clearly indicates that he's the lone perpetrator of this horrible murder. But whether or not he might have had some help later on, particularly once he got into Canada and thereafter.
When you look at the detail of the grisly dismemberment of Jasmine Fiore, is that the kind of thing that you assume someone just knows how to do to hide someone's identity, or you think that maybe he would have had to seek information about that?
No, I don't think that's something anybody would necessarily know how to do. It's really a kind of an amateur idea to believe that you could hide somebody's identity like that. I mean, there are other ways to identify people, and certainly DNA would be an identifying characteristic. So,
and on the forensic side, even though such terrible things were done to Jasmine Fiore's body, you were able to identify her body in a very unique way. Tell me about it.
Well, she was identified at the autopsy by the serial numbers on her breast implants.
So how confident are you that you know exactly who did this to Jasmine Fiore and that the case is basically closed?
Well, we're very confident that we know who the killer is. All of the evidence points to Ryan Jenkins without any question. So, very clearly, he's the killer here, and he's the sole perpetrator of this killing.
All right, Mr. Rackauckas, thank you very much. We look forward to any other information that comes along. Appreciate you joining us.
Okay, thank you.